Okay, so if you remember from the previous session, we've learned how to make a map and by using a DOM and then adding a GeoJSON layer to this map as a canvas on it, and then separating that based on the layers based on our data. For example, here based on the Vancouver area, I am drawing this GeoJSON layer. So to filter this GeoJSON, we need to access the flat array to perform our array methods. In order to do that, we define a Vancouver Crime 2, and in this, so it's like an extended from Vancouver. However, we just have the features as a flat array. It doesn't have a type as a feature collection anymore. And now we are going to use this Vancouver Crime 2 for our visualization. And then we need to define a new cell to hold this value for the map, and that's why we used view once more. So we already have two selections, that time brush and then the offense selection from the first graph, and we need to specify which one is the one we are using for the map. Okay, so to have access to our GeoJSON, to filter the GeoJSON data, we need to access it as a flat array. So what we need to do is to have access to the features of the Vancouver Crime and apply our filter on that. So let's write a filter. Let's call it Vancouver Crime filtered, and this filter is going to apply on Vancouver Crime dot features dot filter, and so we have two different selections and need to specify which one is the one we are using. If it's the B selection or if it's the time parse. And so we need to use .include function to check which one is the one we're using. So if it was from this one, then the properties offense. And so we need to chain these filters together and applying the filter for the time parse. Filter the time parse. So we use our time parse function to convert the content in our selection array to UTC format so that we can compare the values. So the dot properties date, and if the values where I am selecting a range based on the values in time parse, time parse dot T selection and 0. So the first value, if I'm now selecting the range of the value in time parse, so if it's greater than the minimum and also smaller than the maximum, less than the maximum value. So having the same thing. Then the maximum value, and then we're going to put this. And this is the filter. As I said, this Vancouver crime filtered is a flat array, so it doesn't have the other dimension as Vancouver crime, which is the feature collection. So what we need to do here is to, from this new filtered data set, we need to convert it to the type of the GeoJSON type of the array. So to do that, I'm going to make a new filtered geocrime, and this is going to be called. So what I want to do is to add a new add the feature collection type to the previous array and make a new object and store it in the filtered geocrimes, and then show these filtered geocrimes using a heat map on our map. So return new object. The type of the object would be feature collection, and the features would be Vancouver crime filter. Okay, so this is my filtered geocrime, and then the next thing to do is to add this geocrime, this geocrime as in a format of a heat map to my map as a new layer. Okay, so let the geocrime dot features map getting the features. Geometric coordinates slice. Okay, so this function formats our GeoJSON file to be proportional with leaflet. GeoJSON files are formatted using, as you know, longitude and latitude, and we need to reverse this. We are creating an array of features, and that this array can hold two latitude and longitude coordinates, and then we are reversing them. We then concatenating that with a value of, or adding the value, the final value, so that this would be the intensity of our points that we want to show on a heat map. And this is the strength of each of these points, and so the heat map works by overlapping points, and the added intensity of each dot changes the color. So now we need to make a heat layer, of these crime points and then add it to map. Then fitting the bounds of Vancouver area. Okay. So let's check our imports. Vancouver area is not defined. How can it not be defined? Okay. So this is my Vancouver area, and then you need to import the heat layer as well. So getting back to the libraries we're using, here I add a new one and I import my heat layer. Okay, yay! So this is a heat layer for the Vancouver area that we made. Now if let's see if it works. If we select different types of crime, for example, yeah, different types of crimes, different locations in the heat map. Accidents are happening everywhere. Proceed. And everything happening in downtown. So that's it. That's for the one-way signaling between our leaflet, our Vega light graphs, and the leaflet, like using the filter and signal. So in the next step, we need to reverse this process by selecting an area in Vancouver maybe, and then seeing the corresponding values in two graphs that we have.